one, but Elliott gets a run on the high side, down to the bottom lane. Ryan Newman back down the inside, storming after Ryan. Priest he'll out the inside this time by Ryan Newman, second win of the season. He'll take it to Bristol. Down to the bottom lane, he's got to run and lays the bumper to Keselowski. Quick to the bumper, now to the door. Joey Logano slides in front of the 10, and he's gonna win at Richmond.
This is how legends are made.
Welcome race fans to Richmond Raceway for the Harley-Davidson Liberty 400, the last race before the playoffs here in the Trackmasters Cup Series Season 2. This is the race that will decide the 12-driver playoff grid. When the winner of this race takes the checkered flag, that's when we'll find out who will make the chase and who won't here in Season 2. Welcome to Richmond. Before we get started today, let's take a look at the playoff points and bubble watch heading into Richmond so we can see what drivers have an advantage over the rest of the field and what drivers don't. So taking a look at the playoff bubble here, Brad Keselowski has an advantage over everyone else with his win. He will be put in the wildcard spot if he does fall outside the top 10 in points. However, if Hemrick and Larson get above Keselowski in the points, they will now become the two wildcards and Keselowski will be out of the playoffs. Ryan Preece, 8 points below the cut line. Kyle Busch, 8 points above. Preece is going to need a strong showing today in order to come away with a playoff spot. Alex Bowman, he has a win, so if he can get his way back into the wildcard spot, the 88 will work his way into the playoffs. So many storylines coming in today, but at the end of everything, only 12 drivers can and will make the playoffs. Kyle Busch, starting on pole, has an advantage over everyone else. We'll have to see how everything plays out. But before we get started with everything, the U.S. Army Band is here to present our national anthem. We are almost ready to get started here at Richmond Raceway. Don't go anywhere. NASCAR on TMG. We'll be right back after this.
Stop until we break through. So take your best shot, make your move. Oh, step right up. Who's next? You're messing with the best. We're death-defying, coming in like lightning. Look out, we're striking. Ready, set, let's go. This fire's blazing. Let's go! Ready, set, let's go!
And we are back live here at Richmond Raceway. We are just about ready to get this race started, but first we need to give the command to fire engines. Drivers, start your engines! regular season. Engines roar to life here at Richmond. Let's take a look at your starting lineup. Starting on pole, Kyle Busch starts to the inside of JTG Doherty driver Chris Buescher, and in row 2, Austin Dillon starts ahead of Chase Elliott. Coming up in row 3, Kevin Harvick starts to the inside of Ryan Preece, looking to race his way into the playoffs. And in row 4, Clint Bowyer starts to the inside of his teammate Eric Almirola. Coming up in row 5, William Byron starts to the inside of Hendrick teammate Alex Bowman. And in row 6, Brad Keselowski starts to the inside of Denny Hamlin. Coming up in row 7, it's Bristol winner Ryan Newman to the inside of Matt DiBenedetto. And in row 8, Daniel Hemrick starts to the inside of Ryan Blaney. Coming up here in row 9, Eric Jones starts to the inside of Stewart-Haas Racing driver Daniel Suarez. And in row 10, Michael McDowell starts to the inside of Paul Menard. Row 11, Kyle Larson starts to the inside of fellow Chevy driver Jimmy Johnson. Rounding out the field today, Joey Logano will start at the back, starting 23rd after a poor qualifying. Engines have been fired and the starting lineup is done. We are ready to go racing for one last time in the regular season. And with playoff spots on the line, the green flag flies over Richmond Raceway and we're underway. Kyle Busch gets away well. Austin Dillon up the inside of Chris Buescher for second. Buescher back around the outside of Harvick. Clint Bowyer sends one up the inside, not going to work there. Chase Elliott up into 5th. Ryan Preece going up the inside of Chris Buescher for 3rd. Up to 3rd goes Ryan Preece as we start the next lap. Preece goes up the inside of Austin Dillon, who tried to defend. That's not going to work. Trouble! Ryan Blaney has a blown engine on the front straightaway, bringing out the first caution of the day. Ryan Blaney, your points leader coming into this race, suffers a blown engine down the front straightaway. Major shakeup for the regular season championship. He was, as I just said, the points leader, but after today, that might not stand. Joey Logano, currently 23rd, looking to race his way further up the field and take the points lead from Blaney. We'll take a look at the points in Bubble Watch yet again, and you can see that Ryan Blaney, coming into this race, was at the top of the point standings, but not anymore. Ryan Preece having a great day today. He looks like he could race his way into the playoffs, but it would take some bad luck from Kyle Busch for anything to happen. So Blaney, the first victim of Richmond Raceway today. No replay needed for the incident. It was really just a blown engine, not much to be shown. But we're ready to go back racing here at Richmond. Green flag is back out. We're back underway. Bowen Harvick's in the grass. Preece deep into 1. That's not going to work. Busch slots back around the outside. Harvick down to 4th, trying to get 3rd from Buescher. Down the front straightaway, Preece trying to chase down Kyle Busch as they come down the back. Chaotic restart, but they all make it through cleanly. Preece in low, goes out high, contact with Kyle Busch. Chris Buescher up the inside of the 18 is going to take away 2nd. Down the back they go. Well, Bowman's in the wall, and he slides. He collects Ryan Newman. Trouble for Alex Bowman, Ryan Newman, and Chase Elliott down the back straightaway. Second caution of the day, and this one for a 3-car pileup going down the back and in turn 3 and 4. Huge disappointment for Alex Bowman. He was looking to race his way into the playoffs, and he just wrecked out of this race. He will not be in the playoffs come Las Vegas. We'll take a look at a replay of what happened. You can see here, coming off of turn 2, Bowman got loose and just countersteered too much, smacked right into the wall. His car slid down into Ryan Newman. He tried to lock up the brakes to avoid him, but it didn't work. Hemrick barely squeezes by on the bottom, and Chase Elliott had nowhere to go, plowed right into Alex Bowman. Take a look at the incident again. Yeah, it looks like Bowman maybe just tried to overcorrect his slide. A lot of drivers were sliding coming off of turn 2, and Bowman just overcorrected. Yeah, you can see there, Chase Elliott just pushes Alex Bowman on and into the wall. Elliott loses total control of his car. Keselowski backs out of it, narrowly avoids that. Makes it through cleanly, but trouble for Alex Bowman. He was looking to race his way into the playoffs. That's not going to happen now. Hand the wildcard spot to Kyle Larson. Now it's the battle for the first wildcard spot, with Keselowski and Hemrick both eager to take it. Don't go anywhere. NASCAR on TMG will be right back after this. And we are back live at Richmond. Cleanup in turns 3 and 4 has concluded, and we're ready to go back racing here. Restart on lap 9 and 12. 4 laps to go. Let's see how it all shakes out. Back underway at Richmond. Bowyer up the inside of Kyle Busch. Almirola goes deeper. Almirola deep into the corner and gets around Kevin Harvick. Stewart-Haas Racing scraps for spots in the midfield, but it's Ryan Preece who gets away without any drama. Going through turn 1, trouble, Keselowski and Kyle Busch. The 2 and the 18 tangle through turns 1 and 2. Caution is out for the 3rd time today on lap 10 of 12. This one for Kyle Busch and Keselowski. And bad news for Kyle Busch. He was looking to race his way into the playoffs. Now he has no chance of making the 12-driver playoff grid. Keselowski is pretty much safe making it into the playoffs, but Kyle Busch doesn't look like he's going to make it in. We'll take a look at an instant replay here. I think Busch was just driving angrily after what happened on the restart and just drove into the corner like Keselowski wasn't even there. Didn't give him any room on the inside. Yeah, he just drove Keselowski right into the pit wall. Keselowski just slid up the track and into Kyle Busch. He had nowhere to go. I don't know what Kyle Busch was thinking. So Keselowski and Kyle Busch tangle coming through turns 1 and 2, bringing out the third caution of the day. And Kyle Busch not going to make the playoffs. That's got to be a first. Don't go anywhere. NASCAR and TMG is going to be right back after this. Kyle Busch will not be back after this. He is out of today's race at Richmond. Welcome back to NASCAR on TMG. We are set up for an overtime finish here at Richmond, and these drivers are going to have to lay it all on the line if they hope for a chance in the playoffs. The green flag's waving on Richmond, and Ryan Preece is going to lead him to green. Boyer up the inside of Byron. Harvick up the inside of the both. Up into Hemrick goes the 4, and Hemrick back around the outside of Boyer and Harvick. White flag in the wind for Ryan Preece. He's just got to make it around 4 more corners and he's safe with a spot in the playoffs. Down the back, Preece leads, and as the checkers flies on Richmond, it's going to be a Ryan Preece victory today. Ryan Preece wins at Richmond for his first victory in the Trackmasters Cup Series, and he'll race his way into the playoffs. What a race. Let's take a look at the move of the race. Ryan Preece dove in early to turn 3 to get a run on the outside of Kyle Busch. Just found enough space to get around him. They touched. Drove each other down to the apron. Buescher was able to slide around the inside. Ryan Preece didn't turn back from there. Ryan Preece burns it down at Richmond. So Ryan Preece is your Harley-Davidson Liberty 400 winner here at Richmond Raceway. What a race it was. Let's take a look at the finishing results inside the top 10. Ryan Preece comes away with the victory. Chris Buescher 2nd, Boyer 3rd, Hemrick 4th, Dillon 5th, Harvick 6th, Eric Almirola 7th, Matt DiBenedetto 8th, William Byron 9th, and Daniel Suarez rounds out your top 10. In terms of your notable finishes, Chris Buescher with a great job in 2nd, Matt DiBenedetto an incredible job finishing 8th. He hasn't even raced every race this season. Kyle Larson in 16th barely makes it into the playoffs. Speaking of playoffs, let's look at your points and bubble watch. So Daniel Hemrick races his way into the playoffs, so does Chase Elliott. Hemrick and Elliott both had wins to rely off of, were they demoted to the wildcard spot. Keselowski makes it in at 11th. He is your first wildcard. Kyle Larson, your second wildcard, technically 14th in points, but because of his win at Burns, he is the second wildcard. In terms of your race to the playoffs, Ryan Blaney is your race to the playoffs champion. It was a close race between him and Menard, but in the end, Blaney was the more consistent driver with an average finish of 10.6. Paul Menard was second most consistent with an average of 12.6. So taking a look at your final playoff grid, Preece makes it in as your 7th seed, Newman makes it in as your 8th seed, Hemrick as your 9th, Elliott as your 10th, Keselowski 11th seed, and Kyle Larson 12th seed. Keselowski and Larson are, of course, your wildcard drivers. Ryan Blaney, despite not being your regular season champion, is the first seed in the playoff grid because of his race to the playoffs victory, and Joey Logano is second in the playoffs. Speaking of Joey Logano, he is your regular season champion. He put together a very strong regular season run consisting of 2 victories at Richmond and Indianapolis, so he's your regular season champion. And for the regular season, that'll do it. From now on, it's just 7 playoff races to determine the winner of Season 2. Can't believe we've come this far, but we are 2/3 of the way through the season. Next race will be the South Point Casino 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I'll hope to get that out next weekend, but don't hold your breath. It'll probably be another 2-week gap. I am on summer break, though, so I'm going to try and get some more weekly uploads going so I can hopefully finish this season by the end of the summer. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your weekend.